at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If the NFL season started today, Mason Rudolph would be the Steelers' QB1. He has the most experience of any QB on the roster, started 13 games as a Steeler. 8 of those were wins. The team drafted Will Howard in the 6th round this year in the draft. They have Skylar Thompson as QB3. Of course, we are still waiting on Aaron Rodgers news. Here's what Mason Rudolph had to say about that.
Every team's adding quarterbacks every year. It's just a normal motor operation. Whoever they bring in, obviously who it is will determine. I learned a long time ago who it is, and then the financial compensation will really tell you what's going to go down as far as the depth chart. So I get that, and I'm all I really can do is cliche and annoying as it sounds, is just keep having a great spring and enjoying working with the receivers, learning the offense, making the most of every rep I can get, and that's what I did in 2023. That's what I've done my whole career, and you get opportunities, and then you just got to be ready to capitalize when they come.
Louis Redick, Rudolph saying all the right things. We know Mike Tomlin's track record and just persistently not having a losing record, but how far can these Steelers go if week 1 QB1 is Mason Rudolph?
Look, they're not going to be contenders for their division crown, and that's just a fact as far as I'm concerned. Like, you're going to be in a division, man, that has Joe Burrow in it with all of his weapons back, and we'll see how the defense goes for Cincinnati. And then you're going to be in a division with Lamar Jackson, who arguably is quarterbacking the best roster in the NFL. And Cleveland is not a team you can sleep on. It just isn't. I would take Cleveland's quarterback room right now, as presently comprised, 100 out of 100 times over Pittsburgh's quarterback room as presently comprised. I would. So that leaves me to believe that, look, if Aaron Rodgers does not report to them at some point in time here between the start of their OTAs and their mandatory minicamp, and that if he is not in there in that building on the football field, in the practice field, in the meeting rooms with those quarterbacks, that offensive line, those running backs, the wide receivers, and he's just going to show up in training camp at some point in time, they are way behind, man. They are way behind. They are ice skating uphill in a division where everyone else, outside of Cleveland, obviously a quarterback, is kind of set and ready to roll. In a conference overall that has nothing but standout quarterback play when you're talking about the AFC. And the last time I checked, the Steelers don't measure themselves, historically by just being competitive. They're trying to win the North, and they're trying to win the conference, and they're trying to win Super Bowls. That's how they judge success in Pittsburgh. Not being competitive, not being respectable, not, hey, can you win 8.5 games? Can you win 9.5 games? Can we just keep Mike Tomlin's streak of being a plus 500 football coach, alive? That's not how they judge success. And if they don't get Aaron Rodgers in there, it's going to be one of those years where every single game they're going to be holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Lou. And if you don't get Aaron Rodgers in there, guys, think about this. Lives are going to change. I mean, if you just think about the mentality of Cam Hayward and Minkah Fitzpatrick, if I'm going to the first game of the season and I look out there and Mason Rudolph or Will Howard is my quarterback, why the hell am I out here wasting my time? If you're Cam Hayward going into year whatever it is, why are you out here giving everything you have for Will Howard or Mason Rudolph? No disrespect to either one of them, but we're not going anywhere with them at the quarterback position. So why am I out here in my umpteenth year in this league trying to win a championship when offensively and organizationally we're not? And so they have to know something about Aaron Rodgers. Otherwise, they are taking years off the life of guys who are potential Hall of Fame players. When you talk about Cam Hayward and TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick, if you go out there with Mason Rudolph game 1, if I were Cam Hayward, I might not even show up game 1, because if you're not going to put forth the effort offensively or organizationally, why do you want me out here? Like, that's the level that the Pittsburgh Steelers have taken this to by the way they've handled this quarterback situation. And it's no disrespect to those guys. Will Howard may be a good quarterback someday down the road, but he ain't winning nothing right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why they need Aaron Rodgers, and they better know something that we don't, Graz.
So, yeah, Graz, I mean, everybody's looking at you. Any update on when we might get a decision from Rodgers?
I do not know. There's only one person in the world that has that information. It is Aaron Rodgers. He will share it when he feels it's important to share it. I just think, Boog, if the Steelers know something about Aaron Rodgers, it's that he wasn't that much better last year than Mason Rudolph was. I just don't feel like that's going to make a huge difference in terms of how the Steelers play this year. I think the Steelers are approaching this offseason as there weren't a lot of great options at quarterback, so we'll take what we can get and lean into our strengths.
And since Big Ben retired 2021, the Steelers have thrown the fewest touchdowns in the NFL. They're lined up against the Packers here, who had the proposal on the table to ban the tush-push. I'm sure that's a coincidence. Louis Redick, Booker McFarland, Dan Graziano, all joining me now. Boog, this has been the hot rule change topic this offseason. What's your reaction to the news that the tush-push survives?
I'm extremely happy that it's still around. I was one of the ones that's been against it, guys. I think that if you look at the play, number one, everybody has the opportunity to do it in the National Football League. We've seen the Buffalo Bills try to do it, well, with some success with Josh Allen. But everyone could do this play if they want to. And I thought it would really be unfair to punish the Eagles because they had perfected this play based on their quarterback and his physical structure and how strong he is and based on how good their offensive line is. I get it. It's a quote-unquote dangerous play based on what may happen, but until I see some injury data of something that has happened, I'm going to be where I am now, which is in favor of the tush-push moving on, because essentially what this is a quarterback sneak, and there's no effort and there's no momentum whatsoever to ban the quarterback sneak. Now, I do think where there's a little bit of gray area is when it gets into pushing ball carriers when they're 10, 15 yards down the field. I think that's something that the referees have to control with how early they blow the whistle. But as far as the tush-push itself and that specific play, I'm glad that it lives on. And if you don't like it, stop it. It's really simple.
Yeah, man. You know what, Boog? This, to me, never was about injury risk, right? I mean, come on. It's a quarterback sneak that they run on 4th and short, 4th and 1. I mean, what this was like a Hail Mary to go, hey, guys, we can't figure out how to slow this thing down. They have this ridiculous conversion rate on this. Can you help us out just by throwing it out? Can you just throw it out because we can't stop it? Now, as far as pushing and pulling guys down the field, I'm with you again. That should not be allowed. That just kind of like goes against, to me, football as I know it. You shouldn't be able to be pushing guys and pulling them across first down markers, line the gains, across the goal line, as they're 10, 15, 20 yards down the field. So I think here, for Philadelphia, hey, look, it's a huge win for them. Other teams need to look at exactly, what kind of countermeasures can they put into place in order to slow it down, which quite honestly, I don't really think you can. Their offensive line is just too good. Jalen Hurts is just too strong. And whether or not, unless you have about 3 or 4 Vita Veas from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're cooked. You're cooked when they decide to do this. It's just over. It's a wrap.
The only way to stop it is to get 2 more votes than they had today. And don't rule out the possibility of this happening next year or in a future year, because the teams that want it out because they can't stop it have an ally in the NFL, which doesn't like the play because it's ugly and disgusting to watch, and its outcome is not in doubt. The NFL hates plays like that because you guys can talk about fairness and safety, and these are important things, but the NFL is also putting on a television show every week, and they want people to watch. So I think the fact that this play continues to be sort of odious in the eyes of some of the people that run the league mean that we may not have heard the last of this debate. Eagles win for now, but don't be surprised if we're back here talking about this next year.
I think Boog hit the nail on the head. You just need a QB who knows his way around the squat rack. Last season, it was the Eagles and the Bills who accounted for over half of the push sneaks in the NFL. Hey, looking up at those Bills in the AFC East, the Jets are midway through their first of 3 OTAs in the coming weeks. The franchise with the longest active playoff drought has a new head coach, a new GM, and a new quarterback for 2025. Aaron Glenn spoke on Justin Fields' fit this afternoon.
Justin's doing things outside of the building that I'm going to let him speak on whenever you guys talk to him, show how he's trying to just have relationships with all the players, and not just the offensive players either, just with all the players on the team. And that has a lot to do with leadership there. Yes, he is a quiet voice, but that quiet voice doesn't mean that people don't hear him. People see the way that he works. That speaks more than what you say. He's not trying to be the celebrity quarterback. He's just trying to be himself. And whatever comes with that, it comes with it.
there's a soundbite. Gang Green starts fresh, parting ways with Aaron Rodgers, bringing in their own 1994 first-round pick, Aaron Glenn, new head coach. The big signings, Fields adds also Brandon Stevens, Andre Cisco to the secondary. In the draft, the Jets opted for protection with tackle Armand Membu out of Mizzou, and then did lose some big pieces in Devontae Adams, Hassan Redick, Morgan Moses. But Boog, nowhere better to start than with quarterback. How much of an upgrade is it, if at all, in 2025 to have Rodgers out, Fields in?
Well, I think obviously you get younger, you get more athletic with Justin Fields, but I think you're also going to lose just a little bit of that passing prowess. So I think it's going to be a net equal because what you lose from Aaron Rodgers with the ability to throw the football down the field, Justin Fields is going to make some plays. There's no doubt. His athletic ability and his ability to keep some plays alive with his legs and even the organized diagram run game, I think is going to be there. I just want to know what the offensive structure is going to be like. Are they going to lean into